Hi everyone, I just wanted to take this time to go through a brief tutorial about how to log in and navigate through various portions of the Practice ACT Aspire exam. I'm going to go ahead now and log in and get into some of the practice questions. Alright, you can see here I can take it in English and Spanish. There's 24 total questions and I have 2 hours to complete this test. Obviously, when you're demonstrating this with your students, you may not have the opportunity to have all students take their own test, and that's okay. This is really intended just to show your students some of the various features and functions within the ACT Aspire exam so that they're familiar with it on the day they actually take the test. All right, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start the test now. I'm going to start the section. And I want to highlight a couple of the features in the assessment itself that I would like you to show your students. Up here, there are a couple of tools. One is the magnifier, and if you click on the magnifier, you can see I drag it around the screen, and as the name infers, it actually magnifies the text. So a helpful tool, especially when there might be students who have minor visual impairments, forgot their glasses, and have a hard time distinguishing between commas, periods, or they just want to zoom in and get a better sense for what's on the screen. So that's tool number one. The other tool I'd like to show you is a line reader, and you can see as I drag the line reader down, it covers up various parts of the text, so only one reader at a time is showing. Now you can see that the magnifier is still there. Students will need to turn that on and off. It just doesn't disappear. So I'm going to turn that off. And then you can see here the line reader just by itself covers up one line at a time. So again, another useful tool. And then last but not least is a tool that will allow me to mask certain answers. So I can, by order of elimination or whatever strategy a student may have, remove an answer or reveal an answer based on what they think that answer might be. So those are three of the important tools that students use. I am going to go ahead and answer the question, and then we will move on. Students move on by clicking the Go to the Next Question button, which is represented by an arrow. Now, before I do that, I do want to show you one other feature. One, the student can flag this question, and a flag will allow them towards the end of the test to review questions that are flagged that they might want to go back. So if they're uncertain of an answer or want to review their work or they're thinking on something that may come to them at a later time, they can flag it and come back for review. They can also click the review button really at any time and see which questions they've answered and which ones are flagged. Again, a really neat tool that I'm sure will be helpful to many, many, many students. So something that I'd like you to show them, not just the content of the questions being important, but also the tools they can use and have at their disposal to be successful strategists as they take the exam. You can obviously filter by questions that are not answered. You see I've already answered question number one, so it's been taken away. And then I can view just the questions that I've had flagged. If I want to go back to that question, I click on the view button, and it takes me back to the question that I had previously flagged for later review. Okay, now what happens if I want to get rid of the answer? You can do that as long as there's still time left in the testing session. So I can turn that answer eliminator on and off, right, by removing this. Okay, and I say I'm not going to change this. move to the next, and it is answered. Now, as I go through this, you can see that my answer masking button is still on. If I want to turn that off, I simply click it and it will show me all of my possible answers. I'm going to go click next. I'm just going to work my way through this and get to the end so that you can see what a student can expect to see right at the very end. I'm answering C for all of these. I'm probably not going to do too well on this outcome, but that's okay. Let's mix it up a little and go B. Thanks for your patience as I work through this. All right, I am nearing the end here. As a student approaches the end of the test, you can see that there is a time counter up above, which is also a really neat feature. And I'm at the end. So when a student gets to the end, it says I've finished the test. Review the section questions and answers, so I can go back and review my answers. All right, same setup as before. If I flagged it, I can go back and view it, or I can go back and look at all of the ones that are not answered, or just the ones that I've flagged. All right, let's say I'm good with that. You don't have to unflag it. It doesn't matter if that flag is removed or not. I'm going to return to the end of the test, and I'm going to submit my final answers. It is very important that kids know once you submit, you cannot go back and change and edit. So I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. And now your students will see a different screen here, but those buttons previous to this screen and the functions and features of the previous screens I just showed you are the things that by and large your students will all have an experience with while they take the ACT Aspire. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.